What is your definition of success and failure?
Good question.
Good question. I think that for me, I define success differently. For me, success is freedom to do what you want to do. I feel like also success for me comes with being surrounded by close friends, close family. I'm very simple that way. Like I love nice things, but I don't need them. I think that I've worked really hard. So for me, I understand the value of a dollar. And it's funny because I've always had different financial goals for myself. But sometimes when I hit them, I can't take the money to go splurge. I cannot because I've worked so hard and I think it's more the journey for me. That is the success. Sometimes you're so focused on hitting a goal, but looking back at where I was 2 years ago, it's the best to kind of know how far I've come.
Hello, and welcome to Indian Explorers. In this podcast, we talk about success stories of Indians all over the world. I am Sabrina, and along with my co host Amit, we will get to understand the journey of our guests and what really drives them. The optimism, patience, idealism, and courage, these are the attributes we want to bring to life in our conversations. So if you enjoy the show, if this is the third episode you're watching, please subscribe and support us. And please introduce us to our next guest. So, without further delay, Amit, how's it going this week?
Not bad, Sabrina. How you doing? Long time.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm excited for our guest today.
So am I. Before we get into our special guest today, did you see what happened this week after Giannis's interview?
I did, and I was thoroughly impressed by him. What did you think?
I was blown away. I mean, after being rejected, the same guy from The Athletic, the reporter Eric, asked him the same question, whether the season was a failure, and his answer was incredible. He basically
So let's
said,
give some background for people that don't know what happened.
okay,
The Bucks lost to the Miami Heat in the playoffs, and Giannis was in his post-game interview, right?
yeah, and he's
So,
known as the Greek freak. He's
yep,
probably, if not the best, top three NBA players in the last 5 years.
sure.
And what he said was,
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide a house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
so I thought it was
Yeah.
quite a smart answer.
And it all started when the reporter asked him, "Do you view this season as a failure?"
Yeah,
And you could
yeah.
see the passion behind him. And what I didn't know was that in 2020, I believe this is true. I didn't do further research on it. He almost left the NBA due to mental health. It was just too much for him. And so to see the way he responded, you could see the emotion in him. Like he knew the narrative that the reporter was creating out of this. Oh, it
Well,
was a failing season.
last year,
Mhm.
the same reporter asked him the same question.
Yeah. And you could
And he
see
actually,
how upset he was.
yeah, and he said, don't take it personal. But just last year, I wasn't in the state of mind to answer. And now that I've had another year to think about it, here's my answer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was brilliant.
So I have to play devil's advocate with you because I was seeing a lot of other coaches, Steve Kerr, even the Real Madrid coach, they were all supporting him and agreeing with him. Shaq, who believes he's one of the greatest players, he gave the definition of failure, which is the lack of success. So he says the season was a failure, right? The ultimate goal is to win a championship. The Bucks didn't do it.
No, I agree. But if you look at Michael Jordan's career, in 15 years, he won 6 rings. And
Yeah.
no one's ever going to say Michael Jordan was a failure.
Yeah.
So I think it's the moment of when you look at it. If you ask somebody whether they've just been knocked out, whether that particular whole season was a failure, honestly, if you look at it from a Shaq perspective or a numbers perspective, they were expected to go through. So it was a short-term failure. But I think the definition of success is what Giannis was alluding to, was more that this is a process. So I
Yeah.
thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
I did too. And I think looking back at one of Kobe's videos, he said, to me, failure doesn't exist. If I didn't do what I needed to do today, I'm going to try again tomorrow and try
Yeah,
again the following day. And I think Giannis is implying the same thing. Like it's steps, right, to your ultimate goal.
totally.
So I'm, speaking of success, I'm looking forward to asking Monica today, our guest, what success means to her.
Let's jump right in.
All right. Well, I'm excited to have my dear old family friend and Monica Vaswani. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so nice to see you and to chat with you.
Oh my gosh. First off, I'm so proud of you, Sabrina, just seeing you in your element doing this podcast and the way that you're speaking and just handling everything. I'm so in awe. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. When my cousin Amit came and asked me if I wanted to do this, I didn't know how it would go, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So, um, before we start, I think Amit did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to, from a transparency perspective, I have not seen Family Karma. I tried watching it, but unfortunately, in Chile, Bravo TV has the whole country blocked. So,
No, what about Peacock? We got to get you to go to Peacock to catch up.
oh, I didn't know if Peacock is even around in Chile. So, I hope I'm not too dummy in today's Q&A, but happy to have Sabrina lead the questions.
Yes, our Bravo expert.
Yes, that's right. I am. Before we get on to where you are in life, I have to say I've known you for so long, and when you were a kid, I could already see that you have this shining personality. You're headed for stardom. And so I was so excited. And I think it was a perfect thing for me to see you on television. I think this is just the beginning of what's to come for you. So I'm excited to hear more. Let's just jump right into it. You've had a change in career recently, and it all started um, I believe what started from Bravo, and you could tell me more. Um, where did this all come from? Where did the show? How did it all begin?
So just a little bit of on the back end, I never left for college. And the reason why I did not decide to actually leave was because I had a very active business at the time with running my dance students and my dance studio. So that was going so well. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I can either go away to college and give up this flourishing business, or I can stay back and maybe not have the college experience, but save a lot and be able to, kind of be more integrated. I just really didn't want to leave the kids at the time. So I think that, I had a little bit more of a hand in the Indian community, because now I was not only just a part of my generation, but I was a part of like the younger generations that were coming into the community, that were starting their Diwali classes and their Bhangra lessons and Bal Vihar. So for me, it was really exciting to be able to, just be a part of that. And I think that's what really got my name out there with Bravo casting directors. They were like, wait, we've heard so much about somebody who teaches kids dance. And then that's kind of how my name got pulled in.
So, how did Bravo hear about you when you're teaching a Bollywood
Word of
class
mouth.
or classes?
I think it was just word of mouth. It was just, I think, a lot of different people that I was friends with that were mentioning my name, or they were also doing their research within the community. And so when they approached me, I had no idea it was for Bravo. I just knew that it was, you know, a cool gig. That's pretty much the most that I knew. And I had said yes because at the time I was doing a lot of different modeling work, commercial work. That was something that I did, was actively pursuing and wanting to be behind, in front of the camera. And so when this came my way, my motto is just like always say yes, and you never know what it's going to lead to. So I had said yes, not knowing that it was for a big network. It could have been for YouTube. I wouldn't have known. And then, when I quickly found out who it was for, I was like, oh my God, like, I feel like I manifested this because this was something that I always wanted and I always dreamt of. And I was such a big Bravo fan myself that to be given this opportunity, I was on the other end now. But it
Do
was
you have an agent, Monica? Or did someone contact you directly?
me directly. I think on Facebook. I was like at my cubicle at work and I checked it and
Okay.
I turned to my coworker and I said, do you think this is legit? Like, do you think I should say yes? And she was like, yeah, say yes. Like, put your name in the hat. Like, because we were both like at our desks, like working on our laptops, like, oh my God, we want to get out of here. We don't want to be working here right now. And when this message came to me, she was like, say yes, say yes, say yes. And then now it's like a funny joke between us, but she's like, remember when you got that Facebook message like 7 years ago?
On Facebook. Wow. So I guess I just was under the assumption that one of you guys, you and your co-stars, had come up with this idea, pitched it to Bravo, and that's how you all started this. But I'm completely wrong.
So there was a pitch that took place, not from me though.
Okay.
I was just looped in.
Okay. Very cool. And at that time you were consulting at Ultimate Software.
Yeah, so I was full blown in the tech industry for 6 years. I actually juggled season 1 and season 2 filming and working and running my dance business. I was doing it all just to not have to give up one or the other at the time. And then when season 3 came about, I think that, it was just a little bit too much for me to, be able to manage everything at the same time.
Yeah.
So I had to step back, but they were so supportive and just so encouraging of me, which, I think I was so scared to leave and to like pull the plug on my tech career that I was like, oh my God, what is like my boss gonna say? What's my director gonna say? And all of them were just like, we're so ready for you to just do this full time. And if you ever want to come back, you have an open door policy. So it was nice having that, like leaving on good terms and having that door open to me and knowing that I didn't burn any bridges. I mean, I literally had quit on a Thursday and started filming on a Friday. So I wanted to make sure that I was there for my team till like the very last second that I could possibly juggle both at the same time.
That's great. That
How
says a
did your
lot about you.
parents? How did your parents handle that? I mean, did you discuss it with them? Did you get their consent, or it was your call?
They had wanted me to leave before that. They were like, you should do this full time. Maybe not so much my mom. My mom's more like, no, like, make sure that you're doing the right thing. But I think that they saw how hard I was working with trying to manage everything and I was getting really burnt out. So they were like, you know what? Go for it. Like, just do it. Like, you're young and you clearly like, it's not like this is just like a season 1 now. This is a season 3. So go do it. Chase after your dream. So they were very, very, very encouraging. Because at that point, I think I had also made them feel a little bit secure in knowing that, I got the degree, I got the work experience. I wasn't just in the workforce for a year or two. I was in it for 6 years. So at that point, they were like, okay, I know that if even she takes a year or two off, she can always jump around and she's going to gain experience in other places. Right. So they were very excited for me.
I don't know what Family Karma is about. Maybe if we can just give a brief background for our audience.
Family Karma is a multi-generational show that is our first fully Indian casted television show in the United States. And it shares a journey of almost a non-resident Indian with their immigrant parents and the struggles that we go through, with balancing work, balancing expectations, balancing both cultures. And it's really just almost like a memoir to, that journey.
I love that.
Thank you.
So let's get back to, I'd like to know how much of the show would you say is scripted?
None of it.
None of it? Really?
None of it. It's funny because it's a joke between all of us that like, this would be so much easier if it was scripted. Just imagine having to just remember lines. That would be so easy. Instead, it's your actual life. So you have to, tap into your emotions. And it really honestly feels like you're going through, think of like therapy, but like boot camp, and you have to like work through everything in like a few months, and you have to deal with so much that maybe you've been putting aside your whole life. It's honestly, I feel very blessed to go through the experience because not many people get to even watch themselves back. So I always think it's almost therapeutic in a way because
Really?
you get to learn so much about yourself, right? Like I look back at myself from season one and sometimes I laugh because I've grown so much, So each time that we go through this process, remember you're going through it with a group of friends, with family, you're going through it with the whole community, with producers that are asking you about your feelings, how you feel about something, what's your opinion on, what's your journey with this. And so you really peel back these layers.
That's great. And speaking of the community, what have you felt, not the community that's on the show, but the Indian community around? We know that, as an Indian person, I know that Indians can be very judgmental of each other. How have they taken the show now that, especially, you've done 3 seasons and it's been successful? I'm sure you guys didn't know that after season 1, are we going to be picked up for season 2 and so forth. So, how have they taken to the show? How they embraced it?
It's so funny because I feel like in the beginning, they're like, I can't say anything negative, to be very honest with you, because in the beginning, I would make phone calls to like the Gurdwara and the temple, like, hey, like, to the uncles and aunties that I know, like, hey, so like, do you think I can like come to the Gurdwara? And they'd be like, of course, Peja, like, come. And then I'd be like, but with like a whole camera crew and like producers, and they'd be like, what? But they were all so supportive. I mean, even this last season, you guys didn't get to see it because the clip didn't make it, but I had the entire crew at the Gurdwara because I wanted more representation for Sikhs. And I was getting yelled at while there's a camera in front of me by an auntie basically being like, Monica, make them eat langar. Like, tell them all to put their cameras down right now and make them eat. I was literally getting like my ear chewed off until I made I don't know how to explain to them that like, oh, like they're working right now, but like they didn't care. They were like, no, they're all gonna sit for langar. They're all gonna have roti and bhaji and have like they're gonna enjoy. They're gonna have a full experience. So I can't say anything negative. The community was extremely supportive, and everybody wanted to see us win.
That's fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, especially because we can be very judgmental of each other, but I'm so happy they've been supportive. And there are so many non-Indian friends of mine who ask me, is that really what happened? Is that what he's really like or she's really like? And I've been fascinated to see that it's not just Indians that are loving the show. There's so many non-Indians like fans out there.
Yeah. It's funny because I think once upon a time, like even when we had Indian restaurants like in our neighborhood, when you walked in, you would see all Indians. Now I walk in and it's all non-Indians. So I'm like,
That's cool.
you guys like our food? I get so happy because I'm just like, there was a time where like my friends would come over for sleepovers and they'd be like, what's that smell? It's like, so like they weren't, it was just like foreign to them, right? They didn't even know what like agarbattis were when my mom was like lighting them in the house. And I would always just like take like Lysol and try to like, kind of make it more comfortable for them because they weren't used to the spices or the smell or like our incense. And so now they love it. Now everybody's like,
now they're all burning incense.
they're like, can we have a side of tamarind chutney? And I'm
Yeah.
like, who are you?
Is there drama in the show? Is it like Indian matchmaking where there's couples like they're trying to put together? Are there like big Indian weddings? Just what is it about? Like, what's the drama? Why should I watch it? Sell it to me.
You have a little bit of everything, but I'll say this. It's not your average Bravo show in the sense that it's more wholesome. We're not going to be flipping tables. As much as I like to watch that, I don't want to be doing it. So I love the Bravo-ness, but I don't think that our show brings a level of toxicity that is unbearable to watch as a family. I think that as a family, you can sit back and watch this with multi-generations and not feel uncomfortable. There's definitely a lot that we're sharing throughout that is very genuine. You're
Yeah.
gonna see.
Were you friends? Are you like all friends? Do you know each other from before?
Yeah, of course. So,
Okay.
you'll see me sharing and talking more about my parents' divorce and how that was super hard on me and super taboo at the time and how I struggled kind of, understanding how to, manage a blended family. And then you have, one of my cast members who came out to his nanny about being gay, and you get to see a very raw and real conversation and tidbits of even Cindy in that. So it's really special and it's really authentic. You're going to see so many different dynamics and so many different journeys, and none of them are the same. We're all going through something very different, but it comes back together with us all eventually, kind of helping each other on that journey towards finding peace.
About to start your third season, Family Karma, and you decide then, I can't do it all, right? So you decide to become a digital content creator, right? That's the career term for it, the professional term for it. So your parents are supportive. How did you feel? Was it scary?
Yeah, I was a little nervous, just, oh my God, like, am I making the right decision, And I think that the first thing that I said to one of the casting agents was, I called her up when I found out I got it, and I said, hey, listen, like, if you're looking for someone that like has a private jet in their backyard and can just like, drop like $50,000 at Cartier, like, I'm not your girl. I've had a job since I was 15, and I really have to share my authentic journey. And I know that Bravo is glitz and glamour, and I don't know if I'll be able to give that level of maybe wealth that you're looking for. And they were like, no, that's totally fine. We want you for you. And that was very reassuring to me, just knowing that they knew my journey inside out. There was nothing that was being held back. It was a very transparent conversation and who I was as a person. And that's who they were interested in, because the one thing that you want to make sure is that you don't change right in front of a camera. You don't want to play a character. This is who you are as a person, and you want that to come through to the person that is getting to know you. So I never wanted to pretend to be anything that I wasn't. And, if I couldn't afford something, like, I'd be the first one. I had a coupon book on my first season where I'm like literally flipping through and like, oh, we could go to Target and get $5 off today. When you spend 20, we could go to Costco and get a free suit. I like, literally was like sharing. And funny enough, that ended up being like something that I got probably 300 messages like, where did you get that book from? How did you put it together? And so it's funny, like, I was just sharing like very authentic things. Like, I love Taco Bell because I'm Indian, and like that's like probably the only vegetarian fast food that I can get as a desi, and people like loved it. They totally related to it, and so it was nice to not have to play a character. It was just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you share as well, like, other than the income from Bravo TV, I saw you on what's it called, Cameo, those short videos where
Yeah.
you give greetings to people. I thought that was quite cute. I don't know, do you have a blog? Do you have a YouTube channel? Like, what are the sources of income that you're thinking of now that you are this digital content creator?
Yeah, so I think that, Cameo was fun because that was like a COVID thing. During COVID, you couldn't go out to the mall and buy a gift for somebody. You had to get creative of how you were going to, get them to be excited about their birthday. So that was really fun to film those videos during that time, even now. But I think that for me, majority of my attention and majority of my efforts now are really focused in on social media. So coming from the tech world, I get to kind of use those tools that, I was harnessing around HR software, and now I'm using it towards TikTok or towards Instagram or YouTube Shorts. And so being able to have a following on those platforms really, kind of it's incredible the opportunities that you get from it, because now you get exposure to not only your just direct community, but you're able to go global, right? So I've worked with designers out of Bombay. I've been able to, talk to girls out of Hong Kong. I've been able to really create these friendships, but also business relationships that are now global, to get creative to see how we can kind of merge our two communities. So it's
Got
been
it.
really fun.
Yeah. I know Sabrina has a question on TikTok, but before that, I saw that you had a girls' trip to Bali, and I wanted to join that girls' trip.
Oh,
So
come
what's with
through.
that? What's with that? I mean, no, the question is, do you choose, do you get to vet who comes on these girls' trips that you organize? Is this for fun? Is this another income stream? Or, how did that whole, I thought it was a great idea because, you don't want to go alone to a new country. Can you tell us a little bit about your thinking behind that?
Yeah, so I connected with a girl who actually runs a travel agency. And so she puts together a lot of group trips, she can do couples trips, but her whole mission and objective with what she's doing is to promote solo female travel, which is something that I can totally relate to, because now with the opportunities that I'm getting, sometimes I have to take a flight to Europe alone, and I can't remember. I'm not used to that. As a woman, I do get a little nervous and a little scared, and I share my location with my parents, and I'm calling everybody, and I'm also like, just in the airport, you're always so like, I've just I'm not as light of as a traveler as maybe when I travel with a big group. And so there's so many times as a woman that I want to explore new places. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to Bali. I want to go to India. Can I do it alone? No. So a lot of the times I'm like asking my girlfriends, like, are you guys free to come? Can you guys come? Everybody has work, kids, husbands, like their own homes to run. So it's very difficult. So this was a way to really kind of connect different girls that want to travel, but just don't have anybody to do it with. So that was really fun to be able to open that opportunity to the girls that I have a connection with on social media to say, hey, let's all go together and we're just going to vibe out and have a good time. So it's actually my first time in Bali. I'm going to be experiencing the trip just like them, and just, kind of creating some new friendships.
But
Did you
are they
do a trip?
strangers?
Sorry?
No,
Are they
go ahead, Amigo.
strangers or you knew them?
No, I don't know them.
You don't know them. Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Go on.
open.
And did you do a trip before this with the same
No.
travel? So this is the first one.
So the first one I have 2 Bali trips that are back to back, each are
Okay.
1 week. So the first week sold out in 2 weeks, and I kept getting a demand for
Wow.
like, can you do another one? Can you do another one? So we opened up a second week. Yeah.
That is awesome. And then this is, you're vacationing, you're traveling, you're hosting, and then this is another revenue source.
Yes.
Very cool. That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah. I
TikTok,
love
Sabrina,
that.
what was your question?
Yes. So, Monica, I don't know if you heard that the state of Montana has banned TikTok.
I did not know
Completely.
this.
Yeah. So completely banned TikTok. If someone gets on TikTok, they can be fined. If they share a TikTok, they can be
What?
fined. I don't
my
know
God.
all the nitty gritty of how these fines work, but I was thinking about you. This is your source of income now, right?
And
So
TikTok is banned in India.
that's
It is.
true. Yes.
Yeah.
So you have over 115,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
What do you think is going to happen? What would happen if they banned it in Florida?
I would move. I would probably flight and move to Bali.
Yeah, peace out.
All day. It's funny because I've thought of that, and I don't know. To be honest, I don't know the reasons behind a lot of what they're doing, but I can speak from somebody who's on the application to say that it's so much fun and it's so much better than just I remember once upon a time Facebook was that, like, Facebook's out, like Instagram is still fun, but TikTok is short form content in such a way that, man, the humor on it is just completely different than anything that I've ever been on. So even like YouTube, it still doesn't hit the same as TikTok. I could stay on that app for hours. I get so many different ideas, and it's, oh my God, I learn everything on there. So I don't know what I would do.
It's funny. In our first episode, we talked about this and how millennials and the younger generations use TikTok as a search engine. And I have
I
to say
remember
it
that.
again. Yeah, I have to say it again because it's so funny. I was talking to a friend and she said, she is a younger millennial. And I asked her, I'm like, so when you're searching for something, what do you do? Like hashtag new restaurant, hashtag San Antonio. And she looked at me like, what? She's like, no, you use it like a certain, like new restaurants in San Antonio. And I just felt, I think it was one of the first moments I felt old. Like, okay, I am a totally different generation. So to go with that, my generation and even the older generations, they don't understand, like, digital content creator was not even a thing growing up. Even as when you were a kid, it was not even created. No pun
Yeah, I
intended.
remember like 2005 when like the OG YouTube gurus were creating
Starting.
videos, reviewing
Right.
foundations at CVS. And I just, the reason for me really kind of going into this was because at that time when I was in high school, I'm playing around with makeup, but there was nobody that was really my skin tone. So a lot of times these girls are like, oh, I'm, NC 10. And I'm like, oh my God, am I NC like 42? Like I had nobody to help me match my skin tone, what looks good. I can't use these bright pink blushes. They just don't look good on me. So I was trying to pull, fashion and beauty advice from somebody that looked like me. And the one that I, gravitated towards the most was actually Dulce Candy. I don't know if you remember her, but she's Mexican. So she had a skin tone very similar to mine. And I was like, okay, wait, I'm going to go to CVS and get the same shade that she recommended. And that was kind of how my journey with wanting to be in this world started, because I pulled so much inspiration from them. But now it's a different league. I mean, now you have creators out of Bombay who are, coming, they're explaining, the Indian fabrics and the embroidery and the different types of saris and langas and how to drape your sari and your dupatta different ways. And they're getting so creative with their transitions. I mean, I just sit back and I'm like, I have so much to learn, because to this point, I've shared my journey and people know my personality, but I also get very, very, very captivated by creating images and short form videos. And so it's like a playground for me. I'm like in this world where I feel like now I have the ability to kind of create so many different things and partner up with so many different creators that the possibilities are endless. And it's really about what your mission is.
You say it's a playground. And I guess that's my question for my generation and the older generation is it a playground or is it a career, a professional career where, you know what, this is lucrative?
It's whatever you want it to be. I know people, that do this for fun, that like every morning when they wake up, they're taking a video and they're eating their breakfast and they have 2 million followers. Are they necessary? But they're still going to work, and they don't want to, they have fun with it, but are they necessarily doing it for monetization? Not really.
Okay.
So it just depends whatever you want to make it, And for me right now, I'm not so much focused on the money aspect of it. I think I'm more concerned with creating a connection and really focusing on, just building that trust with my audience and getting to know them and seeing what they like. And I'm finding my way in this space.
Okay. That makes sense. And do you find more of a connection with other Indians or has it been all races and cultures?
All races and cultures, but I really enjoy. Oh, do you mean my following?
Yeah, you're following.
Oh, yeah, no, it's actually predominantly non-Indian, which is,
Really?
well, okay, when I say non-Indian, like I can look at my analytics and I can tell you that out of the countries that I have the most following from, I think like 86% for me is from the United States and like 2%
Okay.
is from India. So
Got it.
I was shocked by that at first and was kind of like, wait a minute, like, what do you mean only 2% of my followings from India? I thought it would be the other way around. I thought it would
Yeah.
be, but it makes sense. Majority of my following might be non-resident Indians that are living in the United States that have
Right,
a,
exactly.
but I have a very diverse audience. It's not just Indian.
Okay.
That's great. Sabrina, just in case you're wondering, our analytics, I checked yesterday, it says insufficient data to have any data.
That's because it's still our moms just watching our podcast.
That's awesome. Monica, who are you following? I mean, I have, like, my 8-year-old son follows Mr. Beast. The moment Mr. Beast video comes out, he comes running and tells me Mr. Beast is out with a new video. Who are you following? Is it the Anita Dongres, the Falgunis, the Indian designers, or are you following the Kardashians? Who are your role models?
Kardashians are out. I'm following the smaller creators, to be honest. So I love Hemal Patel. She's actually a good friend of mine, but she is so creative. She's absolutely like, my God, this girl just has so much talent just on her fingertips, and the aesthetics that she can just visualize and kind of create into life. I'm blown away by her.
Is she a fashion designer?
She is a content creator. So she'll
Content
do
creator.
fashion based content. Anthony Gomes, he's also a very good friend of mine. He's extremely talented. I follow Deepa Kholsa. I have Deepika Mutiala. I have the Chutney Life for all of my recipes. So, I mean, I follow a different range of girls, but all of them are so inspiring to me. Even Sirat Saini, Zahara, Zila, like they're just so incredible at what they're doing. Shivani Bhavna. I don't know if I'm like, do you guys know who I'm talking about?
I, these are
I
great. These are
don't.
people we're going to contact to be our next guest. So
I'm gonna
please,
give. I'm gonna start sending you guys all of my inspiration and the people that I follow, so you
Please
guys can start
do.
following it
Please do.
yeah.
I'm ashamed to say, like, I don't know all like the Bollywood stars and the movies. I don't
Oh no,
follow
these are
them.
all these are not Bollywood girls.
They're influencers.
These are all influencers that are like in my backyard or in your backyard.
Oh my
That you
gosh.
Yeah.
just
Okay, yes. Send me because I love to support them. Like I know one person I saw you follow that I love is Ami Desai. I
love her.
like love me too. I love watching all her stuff and I get great tips from her. So yes,
Yeah,
send me more.
yeah, for sure. I will.
I'm still in
So
the
growing
Priyanka
up,
Chopra, that age group. Sorry, but I'd love to. I'm going to go check out these people for sure.
I wanted to ask, growing up, who was your inspiration?
Aishwarya Rai.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because she was probably one of the first Bollywood actresses that had crossed over into Hollywood briefly. And that for us was so exciting. Oh my God. I remember when she had that nighttime show. Who was it with? Was it not Jay Leno? It was
I
one of
don't
these like,
know.
nighttime shows.
Well,
Okay.
Letterman. I think it was Letterman.
Yeah, David Letterman. So she came on, and I remember like waiting up with my family and like turning on the TV and being like screaming at our TV, like, "Oh my God, like I sure rise like with David Letterman.
I
This is
love it.
insane. Like, this is so cool." And like, are they gonna play like a Bollywood song introducing her? Like, we were just so. Do you guys, Sabrina? You grew up in South Florida. Do you remember Dada? No?
No.
Okay, it was
No.
like a late night show on like a weird channel, like channel number 4. Like it wasn't anything like, it was like one of our local channels. And it was like every Tuesday night or something like that at like 10 o'clock, if you logged on, they would play Bollywood songs. Like we used
Okay.
to have like Chaya Chaya and like all this like
Okay, see that I know.
shows. And so I remember waiting up with my parents and like just we so badly wanted to, hear or see us on TV,
Yeah.
and that for us was so special. Like I even remember when like Mundiya To Bach Ke Rahi came out. When they would play that in the club, like now today when they play it, I'm like, can we get a new song, please? But
Yes, yes.
back in the day when they would play that song, it felt like home. Like it felt like, oh my God. Here's the thing. In India, I'm too American. In America, I'm too Indian. So it's like finding this space of where I belong. And, sometimes I wonder, is it London? Because London has so many Indians. And so they kind
Hmm.
of get it. Like they've grown up in a place that isn't necessarily where their roots date back to, but it feels comforting knowing that you can go down the street and, go to a Bollywood party or, go to a club and hear some music that you like. So in South Florida, I've been trying to find that space of comfort, and I think in the
Right.
United States, a lot of kids that grew up just like me are really trying to find that that home and like that identity between, like for me, sometimes, the other day I was at a wedding and someone who follows me came up and she said, I love that you share like Dada Vaswani and like you'll share things about, like our Sindhi community. You're showing Sai Bhaji that you're eating for lunch. And I'm so over trying to fit in and I'm so over trying to like music that I don't genuinely like. If I
Hmm.
like Bollywood music, if I like Punjabi music, that's what I'm going to listen to. And I'm going to let everybody know that that's the type of music that I want to listen to. If I like to eat garka khana and it's, you know, like Sindhi curry and bundi dudh, like I'm going to talk about it because
Yeah.
I feel like I would have loved that when I was growing up.
That reminds me, I don't know if I read an article that you answered in, or it was an interview, but you said, Indian girls, we don't like confrontation, or we're not supposed to be in any confrontation. But you've held your own on the show. And even now, what you're saying, like, I'm tired of like conforming to what you want. you know? So you also say that they're that you're the perfect Indian girl. That's what people call you, the perfect Indian girl. And I think that's what you're portrayed on the show. What, is there pressure being called that?
It was funny because when I got that title, I'm like, I'm not perfect. Like, I can like show you, like, like yes, I've lived a very sheltered life. I've lived a life within a community where I do, enjoy attending garbas and going to the town. That's where I find peace. That's where I feel like I belong, and that's where I feel like is home for me, and it's not me trying to be perfect. It's just something that I genuinely like. And I think that the more people get to know me, they're like, oh, wait, this is just who she is. Like, this is not her trying to be something to please someone else. With or without a camera, I'm going to walk into the Gurdwara on a Friday night I don't have to go with anybody. That's where I find my peace. So, I think that there has been pressure maybe before, but nowadays I've found what I liked, and I've found a way to communicate that in a way where and express it in a way where I feel like it's a little bit more relatable, so it's not that I'm at home and I want to like be this like this like perfect Indian bahu and like make rotis. No, I really like roti and I really like bhaji, so
Yeah.
that's why I
And I think you show that in your videos. You show how much you love all this stuff you're doing and you exude confidence. So even
It's
more
so
so.
funny because nowadays when I go out with my friends, I tell them, I'm like, I don't want, because I'm vegetarian. So, like, when we go out to these fancy restaurants, I'm like, I know I'm not going to get anything. So, I'm going to eat at home and then come out and
That's
enjoy
so
with you guys.
true. That's so true. And all these like fancy new restaurants in Miami, what
Yeah,
are you gonna
it's so funny.
find?
So, like, it's just about finding your authenticity and, really kind of standing to it. I feel like for a long time I questioned it. Like, do I like yeah, I like Taylor Swift, but would I attend one of her concerts? I'm like looking at all the girls around me right now go crazy for T Swift. And I like her music, but am I gonna spend $1,000 on one? No. But you tell me to go to Diljit Dosanjh's concert out in Coachella, I will spend $10,000 to attend that. So I know what I like now, and I feel like it's helping me feel a little bit more grounded in who I am.
Got it. Monica, I wanted your opinion on a show. My wife is watching Indian Matchmaking. I don't know what season they're on. I saw 2 episodes with her one night. I thought it was boring, a bit sad, and this Auntie Seema was a little bit annoying. But then, that's my take. But for some reason, after watching that show, my TikToks was all about reviews on the show. I don't know how TikTok knew that I was on Netflix, but anyway, let's not go into that. What are your thoughts on the show? I don't even know if you're married or not. So, just on the whole, what do you think of the show?
I'm hooked on it. Like I started season 3, and I was like, oh my god, next episode, next episode. I was like ready to binge it. So I am friends with a lot of people on that cast, so I'm very, just excited for them to go through this experience as well, and hopefully they all find love. I don't know where they're at in their journeys. I still haven't finished the season, but yeah,
Would you go on the show? I don't know. Are you married? Would you go on the show if they
no,
asked you?
no, I'm not married, but I wouldn't go on the show.
Oh, okay.
Not for me specifically, but I think that I think for somebody that is aggressively looking for love, if that's what works for you, maybe I don't know. Nowadays everybody's going on an app or something, so why not try
Oh,
something new?
and Seema Auntie, do you have a Seema Auntie in your life that's like trying
No,
to hook you up with somebody?
I don't have a Seema auntie, but yeah, she's entertaining.
I
Yeah.
love her.
She's entertaining.
Sabrina, let's do this after the show. Yeah, you and I will find prospects.
Yes, absolutely. Monica, at the beginning of the show, we started talking about success and specifically failure, right?
Yeah.
Are you a Miami Heat fan? I'd hope so.
Oh my god, of
Of
course. I have a
course.
partnership with them. I
Oh,
love,
see, another revenue stream. This girl's on
love.
fire. So, Giannis was asked if the season was a failure when they lost to the Heat. What is your definition of success and failure?
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
Good question. I think that for me, I define success differently. For me, success is freedom to do what you want to do. Um, I feel like also success for me comes with being surrounded by close friends, close family. Um, I'm very simple that way. Like I love nice things, but I don't need them. I think that I've worked really hard. So for me, I understand the value of a dollar. And it's funny because I've always had different financial goals for myself. But sometimes when I hit them, I can't take the money to go splurge. I cannot because I've worked so hard and I think it's more the journey for me. That is the success. Sometimes you're so focused on hitting a goal, but looking back at where I was 2 years ago, it's the best to kind of know how far I've come. I mean, I still to this day tell everybody that I was driving like my grandmother's like Hyundai Sonata till it broke down and then I got a new car. But it was like the best journey for me to say, yeah, I remember having that car and then I went to a little bit of a nicer one. I went to a Mazda and now I'm in a Lexus. Like I like the journey of growth. And I think that for me is success, is seeing change and evolution.
Got it.
And what would you define as a failure?
Man, that's a really good question. I think at times, I think it's something that is so personal, right? Because at times we can be so hard on ourselves as to like where we want to be in our lives or what we want to achieve to feel like a winner. Um, I don't know that I've ever had that feeling. I think that there's moments where sometimes you'll be disappointed in yourself and you're like, I could have done better. Like I missed that opportunity, or I could have done this, or, maybe, I made a wrong decision on something. But I don't think I've ever had a moment where I've felt like that. Genuinely in my heart, I feel like there's been moments where I've been disappointed in myself. Maybe I felt like I could have done something better, but I don't think I've ever felt like a failure. That's a very strong word. Like failure to me, like I don't even think I want to keep that word in my vocabulary because I feel like it'll eat up at your self esteem. And I think that there's one
Absolutely.
thing that I cherish more than anything, and it's my confidence. So I think I kind of shift my energy towards that word
Yeah.
than I
So
do
you're
feel.
another one that would say failure is non-existent to you. And
Yeah, I
that's a
don't
good
think it's
thing.
yeah, I really and
Yeah.
I didn't play like, sports where there was like winning and losing, to where I got so caught up in like so competitive in a game. Um, even with like I'll tell you something funny, even with family karma, like when we were shooting our poster board, I know sometimes like of course like everybody would want to be like in the center of it, but like there's a lot of pressure that also comes with being in the center and being like, like all eyes on you and you're like the main character. Sometimes I'm okay to just be within the group, and like especially in this opportunity, I was very okay to not have to like fight for limelight or have to be like
Mm.
number one. Like there was none of that for me. It was like I'm gonna share what's authentic to me. If it lands, it lands, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, it's non-existent for me.
So did you have a question? Go ahead.
I wanted. I just saw the time right now. I wanted to do a
Yeah.
quick rapid fire. I think it would be fun with
Wait,
Monica.
before that, can I ask one question? What is your dream and what is next for you?
I think I'm still figuring it out. I think that before I used to have this, and I think that this comes with maturity. Where before by a certain age I wanted to hit something, by another age I wanted to hit something. Like now I'm like 31 and I wish that I would have thought that I would have had a home by now, but our housing market in Miami is just next level. So I try not to make too many plans or too many, kind of level set these goals for myself. I think that right now I'm on this journey where within my career, I'm saying yes and I'm doing things that I love and I'm really focusing in on my passions. And I think that that's going to take me far because I feel like people are interested and they're kind of on the same journey that I'm on, which one thing for me is, as an Indian woman, I want to see us on big billboards. I want to see us working with Lancome, with L'Oreal. I want to see us doing, different fashion brands. And it doesn't need to be mediocre all the time. I want to have us on the poster of a Gap ad or Old Navy or Allison Olivia, Gucci. I'm looking at Deepika Padukone right now, and she's killing it. She is the face of like Louis Vuitton, Cartier, and it's like finally we
It's
have a
becoming
girl.
the norm. We're
It's
getting there.
becoming the norm.
Yeah.
It's not so much. I think I want to steer away from having to like give a slot to an Asian. Like if you had to pick five
Yeah.
girls, most brands now when they pick those five girls, they have to like run through so many different boardrooms to make sure that they're not leaving anybody out.
Yeah.
I want us to become the norm, that you don't have to just include the Asian to just not get in trouble. Like I want them to genuinely feel interested in our fashion, in our beauty, in our Ayurvedic treatments, and
Yeah.
really kind of tap into our community because we have so much to offer. That's really my goal.
Yeah, I
I
want to
love
be
it.
invited to the Met Gala, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
And Alia Bhatt was there. Alia
Yeah.
Bhatt was there, so
I
it's
saw her with a white dress. Yeah, she looked gorgeous. Okay,
All right,
Sabrina,
ready for
let's
rapid
do
fire?
the rapid fire. You want to start, Sabrina? These are quick answers,
Sure.
Monica. Whatever
Yes.
comes in your mind. Short answers.
Okay, ready? Your favorite reality TV show other than Family Karma?
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Same. I love
Yeah.
it.
Got it. Favorite
You?
Taco Bell meal?
Wait. Amitu,
Yeah.
yours?
I'm enjoying right now Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole, it's Kiefer Sutherland, the 24 guy.
And it's a reality show.
Oh, it's a TV drama.
That's why I was
Next
like, what's
question.
the
Next question.
I don't watch reality shows. Unless somebody dies, I don't watch TV.
Okay. Next question. This is us. We just don't. We're still trying to get in sync here.
All
Just
right,
kidding.
favorite Taco Bell meal?
Okay, so a cheesy gordita crunch with beans instead, extra fire sauce. I also love the Mexican pizza. Listen,
Yes.
I signed a lot of petitions to bring that thing back.
How
so
do you not have a deal with them? How do you not have a partnership with
I
them?
was actually invited to their headquarters, but then COVID happened.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Timing.
Yeah.
Sabrina,
So
you?
we do not. Well, we do have Taco Bell in South Texas. And Monica, did you live in San Antonio ever?
No, never.
No. Okay, your dad did.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so here, I mean, there are Taco Bells, but we go right to the like real Mexican.
Real Tex-Mex.
No offense. Yeah.
The real Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Taco Bell here, but I haven't entered the Taco Bell ever. So I wouldn't know what the menu is.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets? 10 being really good.
A 10. It was funny. I actually
Wow.
posted a meme that was like me finding out something that I already know, and it was like a really like shocked like face. Nobody will know that I know anything. I will pretend.
Wow, I'm coming to
Sabrina?
you next time. I really have to say something. I'd probably be like a 7.5. So like I have to tell Noel or my mom. I have to tell someone if it's like really good. So next time I'm coming to Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a 4.
Wow.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm never coming to you.
I'm a 4. I mean, I
It's
speak.
because he doesn't give a crap. He just like
I don't think it's
verbal
important.
vomit.
When
It's-
when somebody says it's important, it's really not that important. What's happening in Ukraine is important. Who you're dating or who you slept with last night ain't that important. I think we give ourselves too much importance. We're really not that important. Nobody really cares about us. That's how I feel.
Yeah. All right. What let's see, which one do I want to go? Okay.
Last one.
Let's end it with this. Your favorite Family Karma co-star.
Good one.
Okay. Can I say my dad?
Other than your dad.
I'd say that I'm actually very close to Brian and Amrit.
Okay.
That's 2, is it?
That's okay.
You have to pick one?
Better.
I
Pick one.
Okay.
Probably Brian. Me and him have known each other the longest. Oh, not known each other the longest, but we're the same in age, and we have like a lot of mutual friends. So probably Brian and I.
I love him.
Yeah,
he's I don't know him personally, but I love him.
I don't know him. I'm gonna go for Vishal Parvani, because I'm friends with Sheetal, his sister.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
And I'm gonna say Amrit. When you mentioned him telling his nani, that he was gay and he was marrying Nicholas, I mean that has to be one of the best reality episodes of all reality shows.
Mhm.
I mean,
Wow.
I was in tears. My parents knew his nanny, of course. There's distant relations right there, but it really was. I mean, Noel and I were in tears. It was a beautiful
Awesome.
episode, and I love how he's carried himself through the show. So, other than you, of course,
Aw.
you're my number one.
Monica,
So,
thank you so much. I really enjoyed this, and I'm definitely going to get a VPN and I'm going to watch the show. And then I'm going to
Yay!
call Sabrina up and give her my real thoughts on the show.
There
Sabrina,
you go.
thank
yes,
you, Monica.
I want to say that you are lovely as ever, and even more lovely than the last time I saw you, which it's been so long. It's been too long. And one of the first things you said today was your motto is to always say yes. And I think that's why, um, you explain what success means to you. And I know that's why you're successful and you're going to continue to be successful because you're saying yes, you're taking that leap of faith. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so grateful that you were on the show today. It's been so fun chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I'm sending you so much love. You guys both have to come visit very soon. Please come down to Miami, and then we'll have one of our like Cindy dim sum.
Oh my
I,
gosh, yes. Tropical. Is Tropical still
Tropical,
around?
tropical.
Oh my gosh, let's do it.
I
You know
actually
what?
have
We'll
my
make a
sister-in-law
date.
in Miami. I go to Miami quite often. Next time I'm there, I'll give you a call.
Most definitely.
Thank you, Monica. Give your
Thank you,
dad a big
Monica.
hug from me.
Bye.
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 Actually, before we leave, Sabrina, I want to say thank you to our producers. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. They do the video editing, the sound editing. They think of the text, the thumbnails, and all the nitty gritty stuff that you and I probably could do, but would take us countless hours. And we don't really want to do that. We want to do this, just shoot the shit and talk with people like Monica, learn their stories. So we want to thank Delfina and Salvador for everything they do.
Yes.
And I'll put their emails in the show notes in case anybody wants to contact them.
Yes, they're pretty wonderful. So thank you both.